little troubleshooting as we go along for the meeting, but at this point, I'm going to go ahead and start the meeting. Meeting is called to order. I will do the roll. Commissioner Strike. Are you present? Commissioner Strike?
Yes, present.
Thank you. Commissioner Spinelli?
Here.
Commissioner Anderson?
Here.
Commissioner Looney? Commissioner Looney has indicated that he is here on the Teams chat. Commissioner Gardner?
Here.
Commissioner O'Quinn?
Here.
Commissioner Krishna? Here. Commissioner Winchester?
Here.
And I, Danielle Bailey, am also present. Is there a motion to accept the minutes? Can type in, or if you're in the chambers. There's a motion by Commissioner Gardner, a seconded by Commissioner Looney. Any objection? Seeing no objection, minutes are approved. Moving on to the consent agenda. Moving on to disclosures. Commissioner Strike, do you have any disclosures?
No disclosures.
Commissioner Spinelli, do you have any disclosures?
No disclosures.
Commissioner Anderson, do you have any disclosures?
Yeah, for the public hearing case 2020-0094, in the past I have done consulting work for AIH, but I have no involvement in the current project or the proposed on the case tonight.
Just to ease us forward in the areas of the conflict of interest, it sounds as though it does not have a substantial part in this present action, and that it does not, your involvement with AIH does not vary directly or substantially with the outcome of this action, nor do you have any significant monetary benefits that would result from this case. Is that correct, Commissioner Anderson?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. I believe that you will be, is there a motion to direct Commissioner Anderson to participate? There's a motion by Commissioner Spinelli. Is there a second? There is a second by Commissioner Strike. Any objection? Seeing and hearing no objection, Commissioner Anderson is directed to participate. Moving on in disclosures, Commissioner Looney, do you have any disclosures? Commissioner Looney has no disclosures. Commissioner Gardner, do you have any disclosures?
No disclosures.
Commissioner O'Quinn, do you have any disclosures?
No disclosures.
Commissioner Krishna, do you have any disclosures?
No disclosures.
Commissioner Winchester, do you have any disclosures?
No disclosures.
I have no disclosures, and then I can't recall if Seth also mentioned, Commissioner Anderson mentioned that he was absent.
Yeah, I won't be voting on the consent agenda.
Okay. From the August 3rd, so he will not be participating in those consent agenda items. And is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion by Commissioner Spinelli, second by Commissioner Strike. And should we do an oral? Okay, we'll do an oral call for a vote. Commissioner Strike?
Move to approve.
Yes, the motion to approve has been made, and, so you're voting in favor, and aye. Thank you.
Yes, aye.
Commissioner Spinelli?
Aye.
Commissioner Anderson?
I'm not voting in the consent agenda.
Okay.
Aye.
All right, Commissioner Looney. Commissioner Looney indicated yes on the Teams chat. Commissioner Gardner.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Quinn.
Aye.
Commissioner Krishna.
Yes.
Commissioner Winchester.
Yes.
And I also vote yes. The consent agenda passes. We'll now be moving on to our public hearings, case 2020-0094. The procedure by which the public may speak to the commission at its meetings is as follows. After the staff presentation is completed on public hearing items, the chair will ask for public testimony on the issue. Persons who wish to testify will follow the time limits established in the commission rules of procedure. Petitioners, including all of their representatives, will receive 10 minutes. Part of their time may be reserved for rebuttal. Representatives of groups, such as community councils and PTAs, will receive 5 minutes. Individuals will receive 3 minutes. When your testimony is complete, you may be asked questions by the commission. You may only testify once on any issue unless questioned by the commission. An individual may have appeal rights relating to the action the Planning and Zoning Commission may take, except commission recommendations to the Assembly which are not appealable. Appeals must be filed with the clerk's office within 20 days after approval by the Planning and Zoning Commission of the resolution, which is the commission's final decision. A fee for the appeal is required at the time of filing. Staff, can we hear a report?
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have received one late public comment, which I'll read. Dear members of the Planning and Zoning Commission, I want to go on record with my enthusiastic support for the approval of the site plan review for case 2020-0094, the Alaska Industrial Hardware location proposed at 8801 Old Seward Highway in the Madigan Place subdivision. The plan submitted will have a low impact on a very busy...
Sorry, I'm going to have to interrupt you real quick. We're having some comments online that people can't hear, so if you could either speak up or speak more directly into the mic, that would be very helpful.
Is this better?
I would try a little bit louder.
A little bit louder? Okay. This is a late comment that we received today, which I will read. It says, Dear members of the Planning and Zoning Commission, I want to go on record with my enthusiastic support for the approval of the site plan review for case 2020-0094, the Alaska Industrial Hardware location proposed at 8801 Old Seward Highway in the Madigan Place subdivision. The plan submitted will have a low impact on a very busy commercial area. I further applaud the mixed-use novel approach of taking the former Sam's Club box store and using it for both retail and distribution. I appreciate the work that the planning director and traffic engineer as well as their staff members have done to hear my concerns and help craft a workable plan. As an Alaskan family-owned business, we look forward to welcoming AIH to our neighborhood. Sincerely, Hugh Ashlock, Managing Member. For case 2020-0094 AIH Large Retail Facility Major Site Plan Review, this is a request for an amendment to a major site plan review for a large commercial facility to remodel the former Sam's Club store on Old Seward Highway. The remodel will create a new Alaska Industrial Hardware store with associated storage, offices, and distribution. The project includes interior tenant improvements, the addition of 3 new loading bays along the east side of the building, new interior parking lot landscaping islands, and a new community open space area. The original development of this site was in 1993, prior to current Title 21 requirements for building design, site amenities, and landscaping standards. Sites with non-conforming characteristics of use are required to move in the direction of conformity with Title 21 when project costs exceed 10% of the replacement cost of the building. The details about project costs and changes that move this site in the direction of conformity are on page 44 of your staff packet. Current Title 21 requires an area of at least 10% of the parking lot to be interior parking lot landscaping when there are more than 200 spaces on the lot. The existing site has limited interior parking lot landscaping, the addition of 4 new interior parking lot landscaping islands, and a new open space area at the west side of the proposed AIH facility brings this site closer to conformity with current Title 21 standards. The parking calculations for the new AIH changed slightly from the previous retail warehouse use due to the new utilization of the space. The proposed retail, storage, office, and distribution uses on the site require 236 parking spaces, and the site provides 561 parking spaces. Therefore, the parking requirement is met. The site plan on page 55 of your packet shows an existing 40,000 square foot snow storage area at the south end of the development and the remaining required snow storage located in parking spaces that are in excess of the required parking for the site. This remodel is consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the comprehensive plan and utilizes a currently empty structure in one of our city's major employment centers. In conclusion, the department finds that the proposed site improvements are a change in the direction of conformity consistent with the requirements of AMC 2113-060. The standards of approval are substantially met and therefore recommends approval of the major site plan review, subject to the conditions of approval on page 13 and 14 of the staff packet. Condition number 2 requires the applicant to provide a final landscape plan with the stamp and signature of a registered State of Alaska landscape architect to the planning department. I will be happy to answer any questions the commission may have.
Any questions from the commission for staff? Seeing no questions from the commission, can we hear from the petitioner?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I shared my screen too. If anybody's on Zoom, they can follow along. Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay, I'm ready to start. Hello, Planning and Zoning Committee, and thank you for letting us present our Alaska Industrial Hardware Major Site Plan Review process today. My name is Scott Pullis, and I'm a civil engineer at Lounsbury and also AIH's authorized representative for this process. Also in attendance is AIH's president, Terry Shurtleff, the project architect, Mark Sylvia with Rhodey Architects, and the project landscape architect, Peter Briggs with Corvus Design. I'm going to start on page 27 of the staff packet if you want to follow along as I go through some of the finer details of the application. The new AIH retail store will occupy the empty 147,000 square foot building. The proposed project will remodel the existing building to be a 155,000 square foot AIH retail store. A 48,000 square foot retail sales floor will be remodeled along the west side of the existing floor space. Access to the retail store will be along the west side of the building. 7,700 square feet will be supporting offices and equipment rooms. The remaining floor space will be used to stock merchandise and provide shipping and receiving services. AIH is modernizing their retail business and providing online stocking information, purchase, and curbside delivery service. To do this, 30,000 square feet will be dedicated to the existing bays and 3 proposed loading bay doors. 50,000 square feet will be used to stock merchandise for the site, and 19,000 square feet will be used as a cross-stock area. This is the accessory use area, the 19,000 square feet. AIH's flagship store is proposed to provide AIH's 90% retail customer base with products conveniently at a location as close as possible to them. AIH recognizes that online purchasing and curbside pickup are an emerging trend in retail sales, and this site gives them the ability to provide that service. Retail patronage will be separated from the accessory use stocking and distribution facility. All stocking and distribution activities will occur internally to the building. No outside storage areas are proposed. Overall, truck traffic and related site impacts will be reduced when comparing the Sam's Club use to the AIH site. The proposed site plan will move the portion of Tract A containing the former Sam's Club building towards conformance with current Title 21 code. It's a B3 zoning district. The overall use of the site is classified as general retail. The existing and proposed building conforms to Title 21 dimensional standards. The proposed improvements will move the site toward conformance with the standard development standards. Natural resource protection is not an issue. There's nothing on site. We have proposed a 2,090 square foot community space for the private open space requirements. Runoff will be reduced since landscaping areas are being added. 50,000 square feet of snow storage are required and proposed for the whole tract, Tract A, not just Tract K3. Existing on-site utilities will not be impacted. No traffic impact mitigation is required for this project. By changing the use from a discount club store to a general retail,
Peak hour trips to the site are reduced by almost 500 trips in the peak hour. All standards are met by the site regarding streets and on-site vehicular circulation. Pedestrian connectivity already exists on site. No residential neighborhoods are adjacent to Tract A. Regarding interior landscaping, the Tract K3 will go from 4.8% interior landscaping to 5.1%. The site requires 241 parking stalls. 561 are provided. 31 of those are ADA. Regarding the entire Tract A site, 1,166 stalls are required and 2,094 are being provided. Being a former Sam's Club facility, there are 7 loading docks currently servicing the building. AIH will use those loading docks for their ingoing and outgoing container truck traffic. AIH estimates that their large container truck traffic will be 30 to 40% less than Sam's Club was in the summer and 50 to 60% less in the winter. The container count for Sam's was provided by Walmart, who said their monthly counts were 120 to 140 containers per month. 3 new loading bays are proposed along the east side of the existing building to provide access to AIH's signature 33-foot box trucks. These trucks will leave for deliveries to customers or other local AIH stores once or twice a day on average. Overall, truck traffic to the site will be reduced in comparison to previous Sam's Club use. All merchandise and stocking distribution activities at the site will be conducted internal to the building. 12 ADA stalls are required, 31 were provided, 8 bike stalls are required, 8 have been provided. I'm going to skip through most of the mandatory and standards because they're either met or they are legal non-conforming uses. Skip to the operation standards on page 37. Noise regulations will be followed by maintaining operating hours. The retail store will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. 7 days a week. Truck traffic will operate from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. Truck traffic will access the site along the east side of the store and be separated from the retail parking lot areas. The reduced truck traffic related to the new use will reduce impacts on neighboring properties. The proposed project is consistent with the comprehensive plan. If you look on the screen, we're looking at the conformity application. External costs of the project are $260,000. That means we're required to spend $52,000 to meet the 20% moving towards Title 21. As you can see here, we spent $62,000, about 24%, so we met the conformance requirements. These are the trip generation and traffic memos that traffic approved. Here are the elevations on the screen on page 50. You can see on the west elevation, we're just adding signage. The north elevation will stay the same. The east elevation will get the 3 new loading bays, and you can see the AIH signature trucks there. The south elevation will stay the same. Here's a breakdown of the floor space. The hatched area is the retail sales floor. The big open area is the merchandise stocking area. The small area is the cross-stock area, which is the accessory use. And this is just space for the loading bay doors to operate around the perimeter, the south and east perimeters. This is an existing site plan. There's a pedestrian access along the main route in, and the circled areas are where things will change on Tract K3. Here's a blow-up of Tract K3, the proposed. You can see we've got the community space and 4 new landscaping islands and the 3 loading bays along the back. This is just a bigger picture of the entire track, pretty much same picture. This parking analysis, same picture. Here is the landscape plan. As you can see, all the stuff's just right there in front of the store on the retail side. There's the landscape plan. The community space will have some concrete in it, a bench, and some surrounding trees, and then the 4 landscaping islands. There's a picture of the bench that'll be out there. Drainage will stay the same. Get to our community mailers, and only 2 commenters attended the community meeting, Hugh Ashlock and Dave Mabius. Hugh Ashlock was the only attendee to provide comments. His first question was, will there be any additional frag lots created? This is from a previous site plan with different developers. The presenter responded by letting Hugh know the frag lot idea was under previous ownership and that frag lots were no longer on the table. The presenter pointed out that the only external changes to the site are what was presented in the figures for the meeting. Hugh also commented, is ownership aware of drag racing occurring in the parking lot at night? There have been 2 murders in front of Sam's Club in the last 2 to 3 years. Security is of concern. I understand this is not part of the site plan review process, but wanted to get the new owner a heads up. Terry Shirtliff responded, "We are aware. We intend to add a few speed bumps in the parking lot to slow traffic down. We also intend to install security cameras, which will give us an understanding of how the site is being used and determine what interventions to respond with." You and Terry went on for a couple of minutes and plan to get together at a later point and work together to resolve the parking lot issues experienced at the site while it has been vacant. You ended the comments session by expressing his approval of the project, noting that he supports it 100% and would speak at the planning and zoning meeting in support of the project if AIH would like him to. With that, we will stop for questions and save the rest of our time for rebuttal.
Thank you. Commissioners, do you have any questions for the petitioner? I see no questions for the petitioner. Do we have any members from the public wishing to call in? We do not have any members of the public wishing to call in, so it goes back to the petitioner at this time. You have 1 minute and 45 seconds remaining if you would like to use it.
Terry Shirtliff, do you have any comments you'd like to end with?
Thanks, Scott. This is Terry Shirtliff. I'm the president of Alaska Industrial Hardware, and obviously the petitioner. I'd like to thank the commission for getting us on the calendar, and we appreciate your time. We're looking forward to this getting this project underway, and would appreciate your vote of confidence in that regard. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would also like to add that I have worked with 3 or 4 developers on this site, and it is very hard to develop. I think this is a great opportunity to reuse existing infrastructure for a great Alaskan company, and it's completely retail store. There is a little accessory use, but it'll all be internal. It'll be less of an impact to the site. I think this is a great development for the area. That's what I got.
Thank you. Thank you. Commission, since the petitioner has concluded their rebuttal, the public testimony is now closed. What is the will of the body at this time? Commissioner Strike moved to approve. Is there a second? There is a Commissioner Gardner, a call for a question. Would you like to speak to your question?
Yeah, sorry. My question was, I wanted to understand when we're looking at some of these numbers, in particular with respect to the snow storage requirements and the parking requirements, are we looking at the entirety of Track A or just that the fragment lot that AIH will be a part of? Because some of them, I think the snow storage numbers look like it's based on the entire lot, but the parking requirements look like they're limited to the frag lot, and I don't think it makes a difference one way or the other, but I was just curious how we should be looking at that evaluation.
The answer to that question is we evaluated both. We evaluated the overall track and track cases.
I'm going to ask the petitioner to be quiet at this time because that was a question for staff. Sorry for the confusion. It's always tough when we're doing this over the phone. Staff, would you be able to field that question?
Yes, thank you. Through the chair, we did look at the parking for only the tract K3A, and the snow storage is for the entire tract A1.
Thank you. Commissioner Gardner, does that answer your question?
Yeah, thanks. I just wanted to confirm I was reading those numbers correctly. Thank you.
All right.
And I'll second Commissioner Strike's motion if when one is needed.
So we currently have a motion by Commissioner Strike. It's been seconded by Commissioner Spinelli. It looks like we have another question from Commissioner Looney. He asks, Commissioner Looney, it is unclear whether this is a question for the petitioner or if this is a question for staff. All right, we have a question for the petitioner. The question is, how will pedestrians get from Old Seward Highway to your store across the sea of asphalt?
That is where I showed in our existing conditions figure, I highlighted a pathway in. So there's the main light that is shared by the Diamond Center and this site. From that main light east to the front door of AIH, there is an existing pedestrian sidewalk and access. And we are locating our community space along that pedestrian access.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for the petitioner or for staff? Seeing no other questions for the petitioner or for staff, going back to Commissioner Strike, would you like to speak to your motion? It does not appear as though Commissioner Strike would like to speak to the motion at this time.
I'm sorry, I took it off mute. I was already talking there. I'm sorry. And to reiterate and to go on the record as case number 2020-0094 for the approval of the major site plan review for amendment to the de facto site plan. My comments to this is that this is with the department's recommendations 1, 2, and 3. And my speaking to it is all the approved criteria have been met. There was no public testimony for or against provided other than a written notice by one presenter. This commissioner believes the petition has done a thorough presentation and meets all the conformance criteria.
Thank you, Commissioner Strike. As has been clarified, this was a motion to approve subject to all the conditions on page 13 and 14 of the staff packet. Would anyone else like to speak to the motion? I see no one else in the queue, so we will call for a vote. Commissioner Strike?
Yes.
Commissioner Spinelli?
Yes.
Commissioner Anderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Looney? Commissioner Looney has indicated on the chat that he is voting yes. Commissioner Gardner?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Quinn?
Yes.
Commissioner Krishna?
Yes.
Commissioner Winchester?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. That motion passes. I would like to thank the petitioner for their time and for staying on the line while we tried to work out some of these technical issues. It was much appreciated. Is there a motion on the table, specifically one to adjourn, I'd imagine? Motion by Commissioner Strike. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Gardner. Seeing no objections, we are adjourned. Thanks, everyone. I always appreciate everyone bearing with us while we figure out these technical issues. It's very helpful that everyone is very patient and forgiving and understands that this is hard. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.